Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going over an awesome Cryo Zane build. That's right, we're using actual cryo weapons and items to freeze enemies for once on my channel. We've got some insanely powerful weapons that are well worth it. Anyways, before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Borderlands 3 Mayhem 4 Zane builds. Don't forget to join the Zane Nation Discord. Link will be in a pinned comment down below. And if you would like to become a member of my channel and gain access to sneak peeks of future builds, link will be in the description for that. So a lot of you have noticed that I've been playing Calm, Cool, and Collected with the clone a lot recently, and I definitely found a couple of cool tricks that really make this build shine, so let's get straight into it. This is a clone and barrier build. Our clone is going to be providing insane utility in this build, especially combined with the new class mod. He's going to help keep our shields full, he's going to help freeze, he can even give us damage boosts with anointments. So what's cool is we're actually using the stopgap and distributed denial combo. Not only does this give us some insane tankiness, but since the clone gets a copy of our shield, he's going to be pretty tanky as well. It's what will help him stay alive longer, and the other thing that's really convenient is if he happens to die, we can immediately bring him back with Calm, Cool, and Collected. So that's the first piece of gear in the build is the stopgap shield. Try to get one of these with shield boosters on it, and I personally like the elemental anointments on them. Whenever clone happens to die, you get a huge power boost. Now, the main use of our clone is gonna be fractal frags with the cryo hex grenade. Since fractal frags is actually a kill skill, we can basically use a weapon like the Dictator to trigger it like multiple times per second, and the clone will literally start grenade spamming with cryo hex grenades. Everything on the battlefield will become cryoed or slowed down at least 50% of the time. It's actually pretty insane. I'm definitely going to be putting out other builds based on clone grenade spamming, but you can get multiple freezes just by shooting your guns and letting the clone himself spam hex grenades. I used this strategy during the Wotan fight a lot so that I could focus him with my weapons, and the clone would actually just freeze with grenades, resetting my action skills, and it was actually really convenient. So that leads us into the new class mod. Obviously we're going to be using it in this build. It's too good to pass up on, so let's go over the skill trees real quick right now as well. So in the Hitman tree, we're basically looking at Salvation and Death Follows Close. Definitely grab Violent Momentum, and for your final kill skill, I usually like to go with Violent Speed because I like to move a little bit faster. But Cool Hands is definitely an amazing option. It's just based on preference, whether you want speed or faster reload. I also just wanted to say 2 points in Salvation seems like it's enough because it's always activated and it gets double bonuses from Death Follows Close and the class mod. Now in the Barrier tree, we went all the way to Distributed Denial. Ready for action is very important for regenerating your stopgap as quick as possible. Rise to the occasion basically counteracts dots that get to your health. Futility Belt is notably a kill skill, so we always have damage reduction active. The only other thing worth mentioning is we only have 1 point in refreshments. Since Salvation is basically always active, and there's always frozen enemies on the battlefield, we have more than enough lifesteal in this build. And finally, moving on to the clone tree, we obviously have Synchronicity and Donnybrook for damage, but the two actual important skills here worth mentioning are Fractal Frags and Quick Breather. Fractal Frags, I mentioned earlier how this skill basically turns your clone into a grenade spammer, but Quick Breather was actually the piece I was missing while testing. Triggering shield recharge is extremely useful for Calm, Cool, and Collected for obvious reasons. This is very much so a clone swap kind of utility build, and honestly playing this way is extremely fun to me. It might not fit everyone's playstyle, but give it a try. You honestly might really enjoy it. I also am going to look out for more 130% clone swap anointments. I actually wasn't really using them at all in any of this footage, but with all the swapping you end up doing, those will add some insane amounts of damage. So it's probably the anointment you want for sure. Now, the last thing I want to point out before you all freak out on me, I'm using binary system. Yes, this augment is not good at all, but I'm actually using it for a specific reason. So I noticed that Schadenfreude might have a small delay kind of before it can start refilling your shield. So I was putting my clone out and he was taking damage without me gaining any shields. So I actually am not using which one is real anymore. This just gives him that extra second to allow Schadenfreude to trigger so that you can actually gain shields from him. So we might as well pick binary system. Basically, it'll just slow enemies near where you're swapping, so we might as well take it. Now, real quick, for the artifact, we're using an icebreaker, but keep a snowdrift on you for boss fights. The snowdrift is not only good utility for just avoiding attacks, but you can also get more damage with some slide shooting, and an icebreaker won't do anything in boss fights, so you might as well switch out. Finally, let's go over the weapons. We actually have two insanely good freezing tools in our inventory, but first, we've got the Dictator. I like to use mine that is anointed with ammo regen while the clone is activated. This weapon in general, though, is so powerful in Calm, Cool, and Collected builds. You can literally freeze enemies so fast and so easy. You can freeze multiple enemies at a time. With the ammo regen, things get even crazier. I actually rate this higher than the Maggie nowadays. I used to always use my barrier anointed Maggie, but the thing is, this gun can just literally freeze so much faster. You can freeze multiple enemies. It just has a bigger mag. Get a Dictator if you're playing Calm, Cool, Collected, 100%. So next, I'm using the Craps. This is a new pistol from the DLC. I like to use a radiation one as an all-purpose weapon, basically just for like normal Maliwan enemies. Now, this pistol is actually nearly perfect for this build. Sometimes it fires 5 projectiles at once, which basically turns it into an explosive Maggie. The second thing is that Torg stickies, in general, synergize with this build so much. Basically, you can trigger Brain Freeze and your class mod twice per shot. You get one chance to trigger them both on impact, and then you get another chance to trigger on the explosion. So it's just great at proccing both skills, and this is a really strong weapon overall anyways. Now for our final two weapons for our loadout, these are actually both cryo weapons. Some of you might be surprised because I've told a lot of people not to use cryo weapons because element matching is much better, especially in Mayhem 4 with such tanky enemies. But both of these guns are so powerful, it basically doesn't matter. So first, I'm going to show you guys the Cryo Redistributor. This weapon will chain enemies and do more damage as long as there's a group around, meaning it can freeze extremely well. Especially with your Icebreaker giving bonus 50% efficiency. This will also be good against all the robot enemies. Keep in mind that Wotan himself resists cryo, but it's really nice to have a gun like this because you can kind of not have a corrosive gun in your inventory until you get to the actual Wotan fight. But this thing just does enough damage that it's actually freezing really well, and multiple enemies at a time with the chains. So this gun's great. And finally, for the last slot in this build, we've got the Ion Cannon. I know, the biggest, most insane RPG that this game has ever had. But the thing is, I've got a cryo version. When you shoot an enemy in the head with this, it nearly freezes them every single time, even if they die. So you can get instant freezes with this, which is literally invaluable in a Calm, Cool, Collected build. If you're playing Calm, Cool, Collected in general, farm up a cryo ion cannon. You're going to want to wear an icebreaker, obviously, because it gives you the bonus efficiency. But this thing is insane. It felt like I was freezing almost every shot. If I missed the headshot, then it was every 2 shots, maybe 3. But that's only if I missed the crit. Now, keep in mind real quick, this is actually not going to be good against shielded enemies. This is a very good fight for your life gun, but sometimes when you try to shoot a shielded enemy, they just resist cryo so much that it doesn't do it. So watch out for that. And finally, for your weapon loadouts, keep in mind if you're fighting Wotan, he resists cryo, so you're going to want to stick to your corrosive Cutsman. It's probably just the best weapon against him. You can use your Dictator to take out the head. And also, don't forget to bring a really strong weapon against shields. Usually, once again, the Cutsman is the best for this. But I've used other guns. People use Brainstormers, Redistributors. I was using a Shot Craps while streaming this build, and it definitely did the trick as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this build video. I'll be working on another Calm, Cool, and Collected build that uses the Banjo and tries to push for a little more gun damage, so look out for that. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Borderlands 3 Mayhem 4 Zane builds. Join the Zane Nation Discord, link will be in a pinned comment down below. And if you would like to support my channel by becoming a member, I post sneak peeks to build ideas I haven't shared yet anywhere in the members channel in my Discord. But anyways, guys, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one.